Hi, you tuned in for the Power and Energy News channel ESI Africa. For this episode, I am speaking with Ariane Labat, who is the Councillor for the Climate Action EU Delegation to South Africa.
Very nice to be with you. Thank you.
And we're going to be talking about carbon tax, climate change, and what is happening in the EU.
Correct, with pleasure.
Fantastic. So let's start off with why is building carbon into a business plan so important?
Yes, I think fundamentally in the EU, what we know is unaddressed climate change will harm our business. It will harm our growth in a very deep manner. And the best way to prevent this negative impact is really to integrate into your daily operations across absolutely all sectors of the economy the carbon pricing as a signal to go to a more sustainable option.
Right. And a lot of countries have implemented a carbon tax. So what is the role of that? I mean, is that something that we should be doing, or is it actually facilitating that companies are more wary of the carbon element within their business plans?
Okay, so in the EU, the choice we have made is to put in place not a carbon tax, but what we call a cap and trade system. So for the major energy-intensive industries, where it makes sense, the large companies, not the SMEs, really the large operation that emits most greenhouse gases, we set a cap on the total emission, and then we let a market of emission decide where it's cheaper, where it's most cost efficient to reduce emission. So we found that for our industry, this was the most cost effective and the best way to stimulate innovation. And we have been 25 years now doing that, gradually making the cap stricter so that the markets create a pricing signal that encourage company to invest into more greener, low carbon business model. We have seen that working, so we gradually expand it.
Right. And you have seen that actually happening?
Absolutely. You have now some very fast investment plan in Europe driven by companies, for instance, in green steel that is produced entirely from renewable energy, because there is this demand from the market recognizing the carbon price signal.
That's excellent to hear. So let's talk a little bit about ESG. It seems to be the acronym that is the buzzword at the moment, and how effective this is in advancing the energy transition.
Yes, I think it's environmental sustainability in the broad sense is really what we are pursuing in the EU, because with our Green Deal we really want to be considering all environmental externalities, from the climate problem down to the biodiversity problem or pollution problem that is harming our tax base, our people. So we really take a comprehensive look. And we have a lot of companies that are in demand so that they reduce their resource use, their water use, their energy use, because simply it just cut their costs. So they're happy to embark on that. Right. But of course, it's important to have transparency, to have a framework so that investors and companies know what are the rules of the game.
So apart from ESG, we also hear a lot about the circular economy or circularity. And how does that play out in the utility sector? Because we know that the corporate environment is aware of this and are implementing some strategies into their business plans. But in the utility sector, is this something they should be looking at?
Definitely. So circular economy is really a wonderful way to rethink your business model, and there are opportunities across sectors. For the utilities, it can be really connecting with the neighboring businesses around you. It can be you reusing your heat, reusing your resources when you have less use of them, reusing your assets, your buildings, into building new operation outside. We've seen that starting happening in Europe, and every time we see it happening, it is creating more jobs. That's really what is happening. You use less resource, but you use more human resources, and that's what we are after.
Right. Let's just bringing it back to carbon emissions. There's a lot happening in Europe at the moment. Do you see any of the current situation impacting down the years?
Yes, we take into account that industry needs long lead time. So the way we are developing regulation now in Europe anticipate transition phases, for instance, of a couple of years, so that business start by maybe reporting further their emission, and then integrating greater regulation, so that you really have this adaptation time. We're already planning now for 2030 and 2050. That's really the approach from the EU.
Right. Very good target dates to have. Thank you so much for sharing all of that with us, Ariane.
Thank you, Nicolette. Have a good day.
And thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to ESI Africa for more of this type of content.